Hello, Factorio people. Fenton here with Factorio OVEREXPLAINED. What did I do? Off camera, I cooked up some stone to just make landfill, like it does nothing except make landfill. Because we're going to need a lot of landfill to hello, telestration, to fill this bad boy in. That's a lot. You need a lot of landfill. And it kind of bugs me, actually. I keep thinking I'll install a mod that makes making landfill a bit easier, because let's have a look. One landfill needs 20 stone. So like even a whole belt of stone, I mean a yellow belt of stone, which is obviously not that much, it's not going very quickly. If we look down here at the assembly machine status, just goes on and off and on and off, because like you just can't get enough stone in there. Landfill also is not affected by productivity modules, I should say, which I have yet to explain. But like short story, you get more output for the same input. You can't do that with landfill either, so that's annoying. But you know, these chests will slowly fill up. This is 4.2 million stone, so 4.2 million divided by 20. You know, that's still a good 200,000 landfill. Will that be enough to cover this? Let's find out. I mean, even this small... Oh, you can't select water without the Factorio mod on. Okay, fine. I forgot about that. If you've got a mod that makes water tiles a regular tile, you can select it and can see quite how much... Do I have a landfill? I mean, even this grid section on land, each one of these is going to take 4,000 landfill if it was at its highest. I don't think I have the landfill on me to do this. Anyway, this is just going to be flashing endlessly now that there's no landfill. I'll have to go and get some at some point. And then I also hooked up this stone into the train network to bring stone, because it was a slightly bigger patch, 6.8 million, to bring stone in here, a little offshoot, to make stone bricks and actually put stone on the bus, because we're going to need stone bricks in a minute, because we're about to start doing military science, and we'll need stone on the bus for rails and other things. So the bus is looking pretty juicy, if you ask me. I also just finished sulfuric acid. I overscaled it slightly. As you can see, these two really aren't doing anything. But I just wanted to future-proof it slightly. And I'm currently still bringing water in from actual places that have water, and I am yet to, as I just said, I am yet to install the Factorio mod to use water fill. I'm going to go for as long as I possibly can. Alright, so I thought we'd build military science today, because it's kind of interesting and complicated. And I thought we could do a build from scratch, because I very rarely actually do military science. I kind of just bung it in at the end. I thought we could do a build and go through all the math and stuff, and we'll see. We'll see what everyone's learned. I also made the rather dubious decision to double the science per minute target. So I was going to do the, the standard 5, 6, 5, 12 blue science assemblers, and then whatever it goes to after that. And I've made the questionable decision to do 10, 12, so this will be 10 military science, 24 assemblers making blue science. Mostly just because I thought, go big or go back to your house. That's the phrase. Alright. Military science needs piercing rounds, grenades, and walls. If you don't play with the biters on, which I highly recommend you don't play with the biters on for a beginner playthrough, and if you feel like it's too boring, then 1, what's wrong with you? 2, turn the biters back on by all means. My cat is complaining at me. She wanted to go out, and she wanted to come in, and then she wanted to go out. Cammy, have a nap. Have a nap. I mean, it's only 10 a.m., but now she wants to play with me. Sorry, Cammy, I chose this moment to start recording. Apologies. This is now me and my cat over-explained. She wants what she can't have, basically, as with all cats. So I haven't really delved too much into the military aspect of the game at all. Mostly the products are just there to make military science. Piercing rounds need copper plates, steel plates, and firearms. Firearms need iron plates. So that's already copper, steel, and iron that we need. Grenades need iron and coal. That's fine. And walls need stone bricks. So it's a good job I put stone bricks on the bus. Haha, almost like I planned it all out. Where's my car? My car is full of landfill. I could have at least put some of that landfill in storage chests, just so that the robots are doing something. I'm not going to do that now. This video, the last video ran far too long anyway, I didn't even realise. Alright, so what's the math on this bad boy then? 1 piercing round every 23 seconds. That's not too bad, is it? If we want 10 of these though, that's 10 piercing rounds in 23 seconds. That's 1 piercing round every 2.3 seconds. A piercing round takes 3 seconds. That's kind of annoying. So we're going to need 2 of these. So we're definitely going to need 2 of these. And then these need copper plate, steel plate, and firearms magazines. So what do firearms magazines need? They need 4 iron plates. And they go 1 second, whereas these need 1 every 3 seconds. Alright, so this is enough. This is enough. And this is generally a good way to do a build that you've not done before, is to just work backwards and plonk down the assembly machines, just sort of as a note to yourself. Which is why I wanted to over-explain this process, because I don't think we've actually done this before in this style, because I kind of up until this point I just know the ratios and stuff like that for the most part. What was next? Grenades. Grenades need coal and iron plates, but they take 8 seconds. Good lord. This would need 1 every 10 seconds, and we need 10 machines, so that's 10 every 10 seconds. That's 1 a second. Okay, so we need 1 a second, and these make 1 in 8 seconds. So we need 8 of these. Now obviously I'm not leaving them there, this is just my notes. And I will do you the courtesy of getting rid of the flashing power symbols, because we're all friends here. And I suppose if we're all friends here, this would be a good time to comment about whether if you'd like to like and subscribe. The rail signals video did quite well. I assume there's still a lot of need for people to have rail signal tutorials, which is good, I suppose. Right, walls. 2 walls in 10 seconds. So it's 1 every 5 seconds, whereas it takes half a second to make a wall. Alright, I feel like 1 will be enough. Half a second can make 20 in 10 seconds. And we're going to need exactly 20 in 10 seconds. Now, of course, I'm ignoring crafting speed here, even though the crafting speed is 0.75. You can just do it. You don't have to modify your crafting speeds exactly, because everything is using the same assembler. So even though your math is wrong, this isn't actually making 2 in 10 seconds. It doesn't matter from a high level point of view, because as long as you make that same inverted commas mistake everywhere down the line, all the mistakes at the end cancel out and it's fine. Now the question is belts. This needs 5 copper plates in 3 seconds twice, 10 copper plates in 3 seconds. So as long as we never go over the 15 per second threshold of a yellow belt, and ideally 7.5, so that we can use half belts, 10 in 3 seconds. 10 over 3 is 3.333 repeating, of course, so we can do half a belt of copper. The other half of the belt will be steel. Now, iron needs to go into both of these. 5 in 8 seconds. 8 times. Yeah, that's not more than 7.5. And the same with this. This just needs 4 in 1 second. This is kind of a concern, but because we only need one of them, it's fine. So we'll have half a belt of copper, half a belt of steel, 1 belt of iron. Oh, what about this? Oh no, that's fine. Yeah, iron, coal, and stone bricks. This needs quite a lot of stone bricks, doesn't it? I'm going to bring stone bricks in on its own belt, because this needs 10 per second, which is more than half a belt, even if possibly with the crafting speed of 0.75 it would be fine, but obviously I want this to be scaled up. I am planning in the future for red belts, which are double the speed, but also that will be counteracted by the advanced assembly machines, which we're very close to getting once I start getting modules sorted out, which have a crafting speed of 1.25. So in fact we'll have to change these. It makes the belt math a bit harder because you do have to do all of the math all the way down the line, because the actual, so this would be 0.5 times 1.25. So your crafting speeds, your crafting times, you do have to take into account the belt, because obviously you're actually making more than this. It's taking less than 0.5 a second. So I'll bring in a whole belt of stone bricks as well. And I guess that means I have to have a whole belt of coal, just because I now don't have a half belt spare. Alright, let's get to work then, I suppose. Let's get to work on this. We'll do grenades first. So we needed 8 grenades. Right, I'll just quickly dismantle this. I'm going to run out of assembly machines. Make sure I always have 50 assembly machines on me, please, robots. Thank you so much. Are they working? Are they working? They're probably too far away. Is that on the way 36? I don't believe you. Or are they all just stacked up here? Is this a massive pile of robots? Nope, it's just the one. This is a big pile of robots, I can tell. There we go, thank you so much. Right, do 8 grenades first, just because it's awkward. If I'm doing 8 grenade machines and 10 military science machines, should I not just be doing direct insertion? This is a good question. I don't need these notes anymore. I could just be doing direct insertion, which would save me a lot of space and a lot of belting, where I could be doing grenades here, just directly into, oops, directly into these, like this. And then have another belt. I mean, they're so slow that I could in fact use long-handed inserters like this. Grenades, and then have another belt here. So if these were in pairs, and I press G to flip my blueprint horizontally, then this could be the walls and the piercing rounds. The question is do I need more than half a belt of walls? Almost certainly not. Alright, so we'll do that then. So we'll move this all the way up here, just because this is the final bit. So then this is going to need to be iron and coal. I said a belt each of those, didn't I? That's fine then. As I say, they're so slow. And then output onto a belt here like this. I'm going to move this over because I know that this is roughly in the way of the pylon, but I'm just obviously going to make sure that it's easily tileable first. Is there a good place for this? I suppose if I put these like this instead, then the substations could go in the middle here like this. Isn't that nice? And in fact, then I could move these over like this. I should have done Control X there, not Control C. These can move over like this, and then the substation fits nicely in this gap there. House robots are doing this, not my personal robots, which is fine. Look at that. That looks nice, doesn't it? Symmetrical, tileable. And we wanted 10 of these. Let me copy it without the substation first, just so to see exactly what's going on here. And I probably also should have copied it without those belts on the top, just to see exactly where the tile is. So like this is fine. If I get rid of this and tile this, and that also covers that entire section as well. So now the question is do the inserters need to be like this? Could the inserters jump from here to here instead? Sorry, the undergrounds jump from there to there instead. And the substations go in the middle of a 4. That is very nice. I'll move the lights. It's kind of bugging me there. Oh, my cat. Please, Cammy. Cammy, come and play Factorio with me. Come on, say hello to everybody. Factorio over-explained. How do you feel about that? Saying anything? Would you like to say anything to the audience? No, she's gone quiet. Because she's probably cold. Because I'm holding her, she's warming up. So she's happy now. Alright, sit here on my lap then. Come on. Let's build military science. She's off. Okay. Four. 8. Now the last one is kind of annoying, but it's fine. We'll sort the power out for that in a minute. Let's work out where the best place for it to go is. Is that 10? That's 10. Okay. If this is the first episode you're watching, this is probably a bad idea, because I'm glossing over a lot of things that I've covered in terms of copying and pasting, ratios, inserters. You know, like I can't over-explain it every single time. That would be madness. Okay. So then this belt here is the input for the walls, which should be a simple enough case of just bringing stone bricks in here. And then this one is for the piercing rounds. Now the piercing rounds, I needed 2 of these, but only 1 of these, so it would obviously make sense to do direct insertion for that as well. She is so complaining, I'm going to have to let her out. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, so walls going there. Obviously, I'll move this and I'll tidy it up. I'm just planning it, and I'm also going to drink some tea. This is a very chill episode. It bugs me about quite how far over this one is. Kind of in the way. This needs just iron, but then iron I needed to bring up here anyway, so it kind of does make sense for it to be like that. But what I'd really like is it to be pulling the iron from this side. This also begs the question of where exactly I'm going to get the coal copper and the steel in. This copper coal thing, oh my god, I can't understand why my brain is so bad at that one. This belt is just going to have to do this at some point. This is an output belt, so we've got all the space in the world on this side. This is going to have to just curve. Alright, we'll put this down here and then we'll sort it. The other option is to do it like this and have this one feeding the piercing round factories like this. This would obviously save a touch of space. Whoops, that's grenades. This would save a touch of space. This needs 4 iron plates in 1 second, so that already means that this inner one has to be the iron, which is fine. Makes no difference. And then I just need some copper and some steel to come in somehow. But that was going to share a belt, wasn't it? So that could do this. And then output onto half of a belt on this side, and then just the walls could be bricks in here. Is that it? Is that the answer? Looks okay to me. That means you were doing that. That means this substation can go here and power everything else. Looks fine to me. Any gains to be had here? Any gains? Anything I've forgotten? Probably. Alright, let's move it over slightly, just so that it's at least in the middle of this. And let's hook it up, shall we? So this one on the inside needed to be iron. This is your exam, by the way. This is... I'm not going to hook this up properly. This is your exam. If you can follow this, then you're doing good. If you can't follow this, you either watched the episodes in the wrong order, or I don't know, I've done something wrong. Obviously it's not your fault if you can't follow it, it's my fault, I'm a bad teacher in that case. Okay. Some copper. Side load please, because I'm going to need the other half of the belt, and some steel on the other side. Am I going to get this there? No, probably better off doing it there. I could then do this. It's the most elegant solution in the world? No. And the copper's gone all the way up. It's fine. It's fine. It's just going to start a touch earlier. No, I haven't hooked the power up. Where I pasted it means that the power is now not working. Haha, I'm genius. Fine. So, and then this one needs to be coal. Which is there, which means I'm going to need this to be out of the way. I feel like that's possibly the wrong space now. It is. It's one further over. Oh no, that is right. I'm just not going to actually get it there because of the splitter here. Oh, I should have moved to red belts. I should have moved to red belts by now. I'm just being exceedingly lazy about it. I'm also just proving to you that moving to red belts as soon as possible is not extremely important. There's plenty you can do. It's best to get the infrastructure sorted. Plus red belts need a lot of iron. They need 11.5 each, compared to the 3 that the transport belts need. Just checking I'm not muted after I muted myself to let my cat out. And just need to hook stone bricks up to this bad boy, which is there, the one after where the copper cut steel, it's called steel, goes in. That's very convenient. I'm the best. Ah, are you serious? It's fine. I mean, if anything, that doesn't even need to be all the way up there. Except this substation kind of needs to move in that case. Oh no, everything's working. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. Plus now this is going to be inserting in the wrong side. Oh, fine. Have it your way. Walls. One fast insert does not put enough bricks into that. Neither does one stack insert. That's crazy. There we go. Okay. Oh, I moved the substation too far away from the other one. That's what I wanted. Walls, piercing rounds, going up. This is obviously irrelevant, and I forgot to do this bit. That's kind of important. There we go. Right. Now, I'm going to use the rate calculator to double check my work. Now, of course, don't feel like you have to do it this way around. Just use the rate calculator at all times if you're using the rate calculator. Save you a lot of headaches before you hook everything up. I'm just doing this bit afterwards to show you that this is how you can do it without the rate calculator. And we'll check our work here like this. Right, 90 per minute, that's perfect. 45. We're making 45 firearms magazines, we only need 30, that's good. We've got surplus here, we've got a surplus of grenades, which is of course correct because we are doing direct insertion. We have an incorrect amount of piercing rounds. We need 30, and we need 45. I'm only doing 30, so something has gone wrong there. Why is that the case? How have I made that so incorrectly? One piercing round in 23 seconds. 10 piercing rounds in 10 seconds. Did I look at this number like an idiot? I did, didn't I? Oh, I should have looked at this number. I looked at the raw ingredients number. Oh my god. That's a nightmare, actually, to be honest with you. I just need to squeeze one of these machines in, which is a real problem because of how I've built it. Oh no. Do I want to cheat and put speed modules in instead? Speed plus 20% with 2 would be plus 40% each. Would that be enough? I don't want to talk about modules is the thing. I'm gonna have to just rebuild this slightly. It's not that hard to do because all I need is another one of these, like this. And now it looks really, really ugly. But that's, I suppose, my punishment for doing it quite so wrong. And now there's no flipping power supply. I'll have to just come back and tidy this up because obviously it's extremely bad now. Look at this, ugh, ugly. But this is obviously the only way to get it up and running straight away. Yeah, I needed 3 of these and not 2 because I did my math wrong. And if I'd have done the... where do I want to put these lights? I'll put them on the outsides. If I'd have used the rate calculator before, which is a mod, it depends on how much you care about achievements, right? Achievements, I don't care about. They're for children who need dopamine. Now, I'm an adult who needs dopamine, of course, but... I get that through the regular adult means, which is to say medication. This doesn't need to be an underground belt. This needs to be. This can be a regular belt, rather. Ugh, so upset about this. It would have been hard to do, really, because you'd need to then feed 3 of these, right? Like one. Yeah, I'm over. Like I've got a net positive here of 1. I don't need this machine for it to work, but obviously I can copy and paste it, and it works in 2 seconds. So there is obviously a way to feed 3 of these into like this, but that is obviously so much wider than what I'm currently using that I would have had to have moved everything else over even more. And then obviously that means that your output belts are ugly as sin as well. So really, functionally, this is fine. Okay, so labs are going to go... Good question. Blues are going to need a lot more real estate than this. You can split your city blocks into 3s quite easily. I should hold shift here to draw a straight line, which I always forget I can do. You can split your city blocks into 3s. The roboports obviously kind of cause a bit of an issue with that, but it's still functionally fine, and you can see I've done that for most everything except the smelting operation. So like plastic is going to be here, and that's going to be fine. Red circuits will need to double this up, but that's fine. It will still fit between this pylon and this pylon, and then the mall obviously is long, thin, fits in between these 2 pylons. Blue science is going to need a bit more real estate than that, because it also needs electric engines and engine units. Now, engine units are in a 1-to-1 ratio with blue science. Is that right? That's not right, is it? 2 engine units in 24 seconds compared with an engine unit which is 10 seconds, so it's very close to being 1-to-1. But because I need 24 of these, this is where you can debate putting engine units on the bus or not, right? Let's have a small quick aside about this, because once we get blue science up and running, we can actually plough through a whole bunch of old military science things that we've forgotten about, which will be useful because I kind of want a flamethrower, because I'm sick of robots having to deal with the trees. And also, we just want to research everything. Like, just research it all. Who cares? You also need military science to get the high-level power armors, which is mostly why you actually want it in a real game. The game just assumes that if you're not fighting biters, you don't need that much inventory. You don't need that much power armor space, but it's obviously not true. Because with the biters on, you would put in theory, you would put stuff like laser modules in your power armor so that you could just shoot them as you were walking around. In reality, it doesn't really work like that. You also need military science for Spidertron, is that correct? Yes. Spidertron. Spidertron will become very useful, so we definitely want that. So we definitely want some military science. The infinite researches that you actually want to be focusing on in the end game, like mining speed. Where are you? Mining productivity doesn't need it. Neither does worker robot speed. And these are the 2 that you really just focus on in the end game. If you've got biters on, then obviously you can look at artillery shell shooting speed and range are both kind of cool, but you know. So you could bus electric engine units. If we engine units. They're just called engine units. If we look at what an engine unit is needed for. Cars, obviously you don't need to worry about making more cars. Chemical science packs, of course, you need that. Electric engine units you need for exoskeletons, which again you just build on demand. Flying robot frames you need constantly. Power Armor Mark II rocket silos you build on demand. So flying robot frames is really the only one of those that you need constantly, because flying robot frames are a constituent part of utility science. And if they're a constituent part of utility science, then you just build them locally, right? You build engine units into electric engine units into flying robot frames, just in a chain. You don't necessarily have to bus engine units and move them down the bus to put them into electric engine units. Locomotives you need in the mall, pumps you need in the mall, artillery wagons we won't need, flamethrower turrets we won't need, and tanks we won't need. So really, it's a toss-up between busing electric engine units and putting some of them in chemical science and some of them for electric engines, or having electric engine units on demand, built locally rather. So you would have one build somewhere that just did this, and then you would have another build somewhere else that did this. Get rid of the power things for you. And then you bus flying robot. You don't even need to bus flying robot frames really, because you have some of them doing this, and then some of them just doing this into a chest, so that you have a stockpile of flying robot frames to increase your robot capacity should you need it. You do need to put lubricant in the mall, because you need lubricant to make blue belts and undergrounds and things like that. So you could have this in the mall and then just have this here. It's really personal preference. Like, if you have engine units on the bus, then you don't need to worry about having a section of the mall that does engine units. If we look at my mall design, wherever I put it, there it is. Which section is it in? It's not. So I bust engine units because at the time I was a proponent of that. They are quite slow. They take 10 seconds to make one, and you need quite a lot of them to make a decent supply of flying robot frames. So why not bust them? Because it's also compression, right? You're also taking steel, iron gear wheels and pipes. Making them on demand is a pain, because not only you then also need to make the iron gear wheels and the pipes as well. So not like the flying robot frame chain into utility science is in fact like something god awful, like this and this into engine units, into electric engine units, into flying robot frames, into utility science. Why not cut out the middleman and bus at least this section, so that then you're just inserting engine units here with the lubricant on this side and then doing this. It's up for debate, basically. Because then you would also need to bring in electronic circuits, which you do need for the flying robot frames, which is why it's fine to do the electric engine unit and flying robot frame parts at the same time. Which is what I did in the starter base. Oh no, in the starter base I did the exact opposite. I actually did put engine units in. That's because I only scaled this to be exactly enough for this. Anyway, that's a very high level discussion about the bus and engine units. But we got military science up and running. There was a small error, of course, as there always is, as there always will be, because I am, not the best. And I realise now that I said at the beginning it was going to be a chill episode, and then I talked for about 10 minutes about the theory of whether you want to bus engine units or not. But, you know, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please let me know with a like or a comment. And if you want to see more Factorio over-explained, be sure to subscribe. Other than that, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.